Hi friends, welcome to testing tutorials point. Today we are going to discussing about how to read from the text file and different ways of text file reading methods. It is basically five different kind of methods. One is buffer reader, file reader, scanner, and whole file reading a list and reading a string format. These three conditions we are going to discussing and today. Okay. Buffer reader is basically to read that entire file into a characters, and it will read data from a list or something like lines, characters, those things. And buffer reader size is not a mandatory, and it is by default it is take a large enough of the data purpose, and it will read and it will display. For here buffer reader object we need to create. Once we create a buffer reader object, we need to a reading file path purpose this file reader I used. We need to pass here is path. Once we are doing this, a string object we need to create while looping, because a reader line is basically which is the path data it is coming to a buffer reader. That reader reads the data inside the text file line by line and up to a last line. Once it is last line reach, it will become as null. Once it is null, it will display all the data. Okay, this is a one case of the data we can able to read. A second one is a file reader. File reader also same, but a file reader is basically it will read line by line. If it is reaching end of the line, it will become a -1. Up to there, it is a 1. Okay, and here also same how we have done the file reader, it is also same buffer reader, same like that only. It's a file reader we need to create or path we need to provide. End position here is a file reading. Buffer reader we use the read line. Here is a read. A read is basically a reader to inside the text file which we are providing the path of the data, and it will read character by character and it will display like this. And second one is a scanner we can able to do two ways. One is without a loop and second one is with loop. Without loop is use the delimiter is basically a format it will use, which is the white space is coming right before and after. See now here is the one line and after white and another line is there. First, it will read one line, then it will give the space and it will recognize this is another line it is presented. It will not read into one line. Okay, and we can able to see the output. It is given right, and second one we can able to go ahead loop conditions. Loop also it will read that enter scan values and has next line is basically once the file into a scanner, the scanner it will read the data and it keeps, and once has next line it is given it will read one by one, and if once first line is completed and second one it will loop that and next line like that it will go up to last line this way. And the fourth one is reading whole data into a list. I created as a static method for reading the list of values. I created an object of list collection dot empty list. It is basically to do that empty. And then here is the main line. This is basically to read the file path and storing into a list. A read all lines is basically it will do that once the path is getting from this file, it will read that all the lines and it will keep it before getting errors. It will store as a bytes. Okay, and that value it will returns where you are using a list method. Here I use the list method. Okay, and that once the value is provided path, then it will read that entire values, then it will store into list one. I'm going to iterate a list value purpose iterator. While looping has next and next are used. One by one it will read and it will display the value. Correct. Now the string format, the same way we are going to use that a list also. The same way we are going to use string. File reader as a string, that is a return type as a string, and it will accept as a method file name string. And once here is file, I read all bytes and path. Once it is getting that entire file into converted as an bytes into it will store into string object. Once it is getting string object value, then it will return the data here, and it will store into, it will display. Correct. This way we can able to read this all the file, this five types we can able to read from text file. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like my video, please subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you.